now that it looks like Pete Hegseth wants to be the Secretary of Constant War Crimes or whatever, he's just admitting that they can kill whoever they want and whatever, we'll figure out some legal authority for it after. Take a look.
Mr. Secretary, what legal authority did the Pentagon invoke to strike that boat full of drug smugglers?
We have the absolute and complete authority to conduct that. First of all, just the defense of the American people alone. 100,000 Americans were killed each year under the previous administration because of an open border and open drug traffic flow.
Was there
that is an assault on the American people. I said we smoked a drug boat, and there's 11 narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean. And when other people try to do that, they're going to meet the same fate.
Yeah, so none. You have no legal authority, basically. You guys didn't even do like one of your Telegram chats and be like, well, a guy wrote a thing once and it was a legal memo and we're gonna use, no, nothing. They got literally nothing. So supposedly 11 people are dead. What confirmation has there been that it was 11 and not 5 or 50? Do we have any idea? I mean, they keep saying 11. Who are they? Would you like to name any of the notorious drug smugglers or cartel members? They don't seem to know the names. They're not giving any reason why they think that they were actually drug smugglers. Also, that they were going to assault us. It was a boat, like way out there. We have no idea what the boat was going to do, what the purpose of the boat was. Maybe everything they're saying is true. I'm just saying they haven't presented literally any evidence of anything. Donald Trump put up a video that was apparently AI generated. So that was apparently fake. And to be very clear, even if they came out with like the list of them and it's like 11 people whose LinkedIn bio is like, I'm a cartel member or whatever. Like, to be clear, you're not legally allowed to just kill people for being drug smugglers. That's not actually a capital offense, even if they were under the jurisdiction of US law, which they're not. And I get that lots of right wingers will be like, aha, they're falling into their trap because we're being tough on crime by just summarily executing people. No, I don't care if you consider it a trap. I don't think that we oppose fascism as long as it's quiet, but the second it says or does something, we have to like meekly bow down because I don't want to look like weak compared to the fascists or whatever. You know what's tough? Letting the boat get close to us, storming it, and then arresting those people and making them face justice for the crimes that you'll actually accuse them of and then prove that they have committed. Anybody can drop a bomb. And I'm proving that by the fact that Pete Hegseth apparently can drop a bomb. A guy who once on morning television was doing an axe throw and threw it over and into a crowd of people. Even he can bomb a boat. That doesn't make it tough if Pete Hegseth can do it. Anyway, Trey, what do you make of this? Are you worried about this being a trap?
I don't know about that, but I just, he says he has the authority to, and I mean that, of course he does. They made that very clear from the very beginning of Trump round 2, from the beginning of this administration, is that they're not overly concerned with things like, authority or legality or the Constitution or stuff like that. Like they don't, they just do it. And then if you don't like that they did it or say they can't have done it, they're just like, well, we did do it though. What are you going to do about it? And if there's, and then even when there's like, and then every now and then a court jumps up and says, actually, yeah, you got to stop this. You can't do it. And they like might for a minute and they just keep appealing it, but they don't really care. And they just, they just do what they want because there's always been this kind of assumption baked into the American government. I think that things like that would be respected by anyone who would have the capacity to be elected to these positions by the American people. But that's not always the case. And when they're not, what can many of us really do about it at the end of the day if you get someone in there that baldly doesn't care about any of that the way that they don't. So
yeah, and look, again, it's just the constant normal. This is a big part of fascist ideology, is the veneration of just force and action and murder and death and blood. And you will bow down to it. We are strong if we're killing people. And maybe some people believe that. Again, we have no idea who's actually on the boat. But I will say, although we do not need a slippery slope, they've already broken international law and US law. I can provide a slippery slope. They were going to bring drugs in. That's a threat, so we have to kill them. You realize that they call migrants terrorists, right? And cartel members and gang members and all that. So what exactly would stop them from doing this exact same thing to a boat that they say has migrants on it? Either here or internationally. All those like activist boats that try to get close to Gaza or whatever to draw attention to it, they claim that those people are affiliated with Hamas. What exactly is to stop Pete Hegseth from blowing up Greta Thunberg's boat or whatever.
Right.
They'll say the same thing. It's a threat.
That's what I was about to say. They could just blow up a boat of migrants and just say that they were trafficking drugs on that boat or whatever. And, and then simple as that.
Yeah. And by the way, that might be what actually happened.
Right?
It might literally have just been migrants or whatever. Yeah. But they could say, well, they come in, they murder people or whatever. So we have to kill them. It's the worst of the worst. So we're just going to murder. We're going to blow up. Which is, by the way, like, I know that I talked a lot about Camp of the Saints over the years. It's literally what Camp of the Saints is blowing up migrant boats and gunning them down to stop them from getting in. That could well be our official government policy. But don't worry, we have somebody responsible like Pete Hegseth in charge. The drunk, the guy who's accused of being a sexual predator, the dude who spent years riding the couch at Fox and Friends gets to decide who lives and who dies. And by the way, like I love to normalize this. If you could be trafficking drugs, you could just be murdered. I guess President AOC can keep a really close look on the nostrils of Don Jr. And if white powder ever dusts them, I guess we bomb his mansion or whatever. If we're taking drugs that seriously, maybe we can look forward to that in the next couple of years.